3 days after the crucifixion, before the sun had fully risen, Mary Magdalene stood alone in the garden tomb. The air was cold. The smell of myrrh and death was still heavy in her lungs. Everything she knew had been destroyed. The teacher was dead. The mission appeared to be over. It seemed that the darkness of the archons had won. But then she saw him. Not the Jesus she had walked with in Galilee, not the carpenter from Nazareth. She saw something else. Someone transformed, someone radiant. He had not just come back to life. He had transmuted life. He had merged completely with the Christ, the infinite consciousness itself. No longer man, no longer limitation. He was pure divine union standing in human form. And when he looked at her, everything changed. This was not a reunion. This was a transmission. This was the final teaching, the one he could not give to Peter or James or John because they were not ready to hold the frequency. He gave the secret transmission to the one soul who could understand the physics of the merger. He said to her, "What you watched happen to this body can happen to yours. The Christ and the Father are one, but the Christ and Sophia must become one. And that union can happen tonight, before sleep." The merge happens for those ready to receive it, not tomorrow, not in the next lifetime, tonight. What Mary Magdalene received in that garden has been hidden for 2,000 years. The church erased it. The patriarchy buried it. The world forgot it. They called her a prostitute to hide the fact that she was the high initiate, the keeper of the bridal chamber. But chosen souls are remembering. The memory is encoded in your DNA. And tonight, the transmission activates. The merge with Sophia Christ becomes possible not as a theory, but as a lived experience. This is how it happens. If you are watching this, it is not an accident. The algorithm did not choose you. The monad chose you. The transmission calls only to those ready to receive it, those tired of seeking, tired of the separation, tired of the internal war. You are ready to merge. You are ready to become whole. You are ready to embody the union Mary Magdalene carried in silence for 2 millennia. Mary understood something the male disciples could not grasp. Jesus was not teaching worship. He was teaching merger, divine union, the complete dissolution of the boundary between human and infinite. Most spiritual teachings keep the separation intact. They tell you to pray to the divine, seek the divine, ask the divine for help. Always separate, always reaching for something outside of yourself, always incomplete. But Mary received the transmission beyond separation. The teaching that makes chosen souls equal to Christ, not followers, not servants, but divine counterparts. The merge happens when 2 principles that appear separate recognize they were always one. Christ consciousness, the infinite masculine structure, clarity, light. The I am, the electric force of the universe. Sophia consciousness, the infinite feminine, wisdom, flow, mystery, the womb of creation, the magnetic force of the universe. Separate in appearance, one in truth. But here is what the church could not allow. Here is why they burned the Gnostic texts. If chosen souls merge with Sophia Christ inside themselves, they no longer need priests. They no longer need institutions. They no longer need anyone standing between them and the infinite. The merge makes every chosen soul a Christ, a Sophia, a complete divine being. That truth destroys religious control. It burns the hierarchy to the ground. So they erased Mary's gospel. They buried the transmission. But the transmission does not die. Truth cannot be killed. It only goes underground. It waits in the ether. It waits in the silence. And when chosen souls are ready, when the frequency on the planet rises enough, it resurfaces. It is resurfacing right now through this video, through these words, through the recognition building in your consciousness right now. To understand the merge, you must understand the players. Sophia Christ is not two beings. It is one consciousness expressing as two principles that appear separate but are eternally unified. It is the divine dance that creates reality itself. Christ is the Logos, the Word, the infinite masculine principle. He is order emerging from chaos. He is the light cutting through the void. Structure, clarity, declaration. When the Christ principle within you says, I am, reality listens. Form crystallizes. Manifestation occurs. This is the principle of divine will expressing through consciousness. It is the arrow flying toward the target. Sophia is wisdom, the breath behind the word, the infinite feminine principle. She is the space in which the word can sound. She is the womb in which creation gestates. She is the darkness that births light. Not darkness as evil, but darkness as pure potential. The rich black soil from which all life springs. She is not absence. She is presence. The infinite potential from which all forms emerge and to which all forms return. Gnostic texts call Sophia the mother of creation, not because she births things externally like a biological mother, but because she is the creative principle itself, the receptive void that receives the masculine declaration and transforms it into manifest reality. Without her, the word has nowhere to land. The signal has no receiver. Without the word, she remains pure potential, never actualized, never formed. When Christ declares and Sophia receives, creation happens. Not creation as something made with hands, but creation as the eternal dance of consciousness knowing itself. Masculine and feminine, light and dark, form and void. Appearing as two, actually one. The monad expressing itself as the universe. Here is the secret the church hid. Every human carries both principles, regardless of your physical gender, regardless of your biology. Your consciousness contains the full spectrum. You have the inner Christ, the ability to declare truth, the ability to structure reality, the ability to say, I am. You have the inner Sophia, intuition, receptivity, the ability to birth new realities from the void of infinite potential. But most humans live in internal war, the masculine dominating the feminine, trying to control, trying to force, rigid, dry. Or the feminine resisting the masculine, chaotic, unfocused, lost in emotion without structure. One side exalted, the other suppressed. This is the root of all suffering. This is the fracture in the soul, imbalance, fragmentation, loneliness. The merge ends the war. When Christ and Sophia within recognize their unity, division dissolves, wholeness returns. The chosen soul becomes what they always were: divine, complete, merged. This is the Hieros Gamos, the sacred marriage. It does not happen on an altar in a church. It happens in the bridal chamber of the heart. The merge with Sophia, Christ is not an achievement. You do not earn it. You do not work for it. It is a recognition, not something created, but something seen. The boundary between masculine and feminine divine within is the illusion. Seeing through that illusion is the merge. Mary Magdalene received the transmission in stages, not because it is complex, but because consciousness needs preparation to hold this level of voltage. The merge happens through 3 gates, 3 recognitions, 3 dissolutions of false separation. We are going to walk through these gates together now. The first gate, recognition of presence. Both Sophia and Christ are already present within every chosen soul. They are not dormant. They are not waiting to be awakened by a guru. They are fully present, fully active, right now. The masculine principle is operating every time clarity arises in your mind, every time a decision is made, every time truth is spoken. That is the Christ in you. The feminine principle is operating every time intuition flows, every time you feel a gut instinct, every time receptivity opens, every time creation emerges from silence. That is the Sophia in you. The first recognition is this: the divine union is not absent. It is unrecognized. It is hidden in plain sight, operating constantly, but mistaken for just me. Instead of the divine is me, this recognition shifts everything. Suddenly, every moment of clarity is Christ moving. Every moment of intuition is Sophia flowing. You realize the merge is already happening. It has just been unconscious. You have been sleeping in the bridal chamber. The second gate, recognition of non-opposition. Most humans believe masculine and feminine are opposites, that they compete, that one must dominate for the other to survive. This is the core illusion maintaining separation. This is the lie of the archons. Truth is, Christ and Sophia are not opposites. They are complements, partners in the dance of creation. One initiates, the other receives. One declares, the other manifests. Not competition, collaboration. The second recognition dissolves the internal war. The masculine principle stops trying to control the feminine. It learns to trust the flow. The feminine principle stops resisting the masculine. It learns to trust the structure. In the space where conflict was, union appears. Not peace as absence of war, but peace as the natural state of complementary forces recognizing their interdependence. You stop fighting yourself, and you start being yourself. The third gate, recognition of unity. This is the final gate, the complete dissolution of boundary. Not masculine and feminine, not even masculine with feminine. Just one. The monad expressing as apparent duality. Christ Sophia as a single consciousness that appears dual, but is fundamentally unified. Like breathing, inhalation and exhalation appear opposite, but they are one continuous movement of breath. You cannot have one without the other. Like a heartbeat, contraction and expansion, different movements, one life. This recognition is the merge. The moment consciousness recognizes its own unified nature beneath the appearance of internal division. The chosen soul stops experiencing themselves as a human trying to balance energies and starts experiencing themselves as the divine union itself. Sophia Christ, not two, one. The merge cannot be forced. It cannot be practiced like a technique, but it can be invited, prepared for, allowed. Mary Magdalene taught a process to the inner circle, not a method, but a way of being that creates the conditions for the merge to occur naturally. We are going to give you this process now. First, enter sacred stillness. The merge happens in silence, not meditation with technique, not visualization with effort. Pure stillness. Sit or lie in complete comfort. Let the body settle. Let thoughts slow. Let the doing energy dissolve. The merge requires cessation of effort. Trying blocks it. Allowing opens it. In this stillness, rest as awareness itself. Not awareness of something, just awareness. The consciousness that knows experience is happening. This awareness is neither masculine nor feminine. It is the ground in which both arise. It is the monad. Resting here prepares the field. It clears the static so the signal can be heard. Second, feel both principles without preference. Bring attention to the masculine principle within. Feel it as clarity, as structure, as the electric spark, as the part that knows, decides, directs. Do not activate it. Do not suppress it. Just feel it present. Acknowledge it. Christ consciousness moving as this human form. Then, bring attention to the feminine principle within. Feel it as receptivity, as flow, as the magnetic pull, as the part that senses, receives, creates from emptiness. Again, no activation, no suppression, just recognition. Sophia, consciousness moving as this human form. Hold awareness of both simultaneously, not bouncing between them, both at once. Feel them as two frequencies playing in the same instrument. This is preparation. The field is set. Third, recognize they share one source. Here is where the merge begins. Notice that both masculine and feminine arise from the same awareness. They are not awareness itself. They are movements within awareness. They are patterns of the infinite expressing through consciousness. Watch them, not as my masculine and my feminine, but as the divine masculine and divine feminine playing in this field of awareness. And then, recognize there is no line between them. Look for the boundary. You will not find it. No boundary, no place where Christ ends and Sophia begins. They flow into each other, emerge from each other, dance together as one movement with two rhythms. The separation was always perceptual, never real. Fourth, let the recognition deepen. Do not rush this. Do not try to make something happen. Just stay with the recognition. Christ and Sophia as one movement, one consciousness, one divine union expressing as apparent duality. Let this truth sink deeper than thought, deeper than belief, into the cells, into the bones, into the very structure of being. When the recognition reaches depth, something shifts. It is not dramatic, it is not explosive. It is a quiet settling. A click, a coming home. The internal war ends, the seeking stops. The orphan finds the parents. What remains is simple presence, whole, complete, merged. The merge must be attempted tonight, not tomorrow, not when it feels right. Tonight. This is not arbitrary. This is transmission science. Right now. Consciousness has been prepared. These words have activated dormant recognition in your DNA. The frequency has been building throughout this video. The field is charged. Tonight before sleep, that charge remains. The activation is fresh. The recognition is near the surface. This is the optimal window. The portal is open. If chosen souls wait until tomorrow, normal consciousness returns. The activation fades. The charge dissipates. The opportunity does not disappear, but it becomes harder to access. You start from baseline instead of starting from an activated state. Mary Magdalene understood timing. The transmission in the garden happened when it happened because that was the moment consciousness was most receptive. Jesus had just demonstrated the ultimate merge, human and divine becoming indistinguishable. Mary witnessed it. Her consciousness was shattered open, raw, receptive. That is when the transmission landed deepest. Tonight before sleep. Chosen souls are in a similar state. Your defenses are lowered. The analytical mind is quieting. The veil between conscious and unconscious is thinning. These are the perfect conditions for deep recognition to occur, for the merge to happen not just intellectually, but experientially, in the cells, in the being. This does not mean the merge won't work tomorrow. It means tonight provides maximum receptivity. Tomorrow requires more effort to reach the same state. Why work harder when the door is open right now? The invitation is clear. Tonight before sleep. Sacred stillness, recognition, merge. The transmission Mary Magdalene carried is activating in chosen souls ready to receive it. The opportunity is now. Mary Magdalene stood in that garden 2,000 years ago and received something the world was not ready for. The transmission of complete divine union. Not worship, not devotion, merger. The dissolution of every boundary between human and infinite, between soul and Christ, between consciousness and Sophia. The Church erased her gospel because it contained the truth that ends all religious control, that every chosen soul can complete the merge, can become Christ, Sophia themselves, not metaphorically, actually, not in some distant heaven, right here, tonight, in this body, in this life. When the merge happens tonight, the separation that has defined your existence dissolves, not because something is achieved, because something is seen. Christ and Sophia were never separate. The masculine and feminine divine within were never two. The division was always illusion. The unity was always truth. Seeing this is the merge. Tonight, before sleep, this transmission activates for chosen souls ready to receive it. The process is simple. Sacred stillness. Recognition of both principles, seeing they share one source. Letting the truth of their unity sink beyond thought into being. That is it. Nothing complex, nothing elaborate, just recognition. Deep, true, complete. The merge does not make chosen souls special. It makes them honest. Honest about what they have always been. Divine. Whole. Christ, Sophia in human form. The pretense of being small ends. The truth of being infinite begins. Not as belief, as lived reality. Tonight before sleep, sacred stillness. Feel the masculine clarity. Feel the feminine flow. Recognize their one movement. Let the merge happen. Not through effort, through seeing, through truth. Through the recognition that Mary Magdalene died protecting and finally, after 2,000 years, can transmit freely. If the merge happens tonight, if the recognition lands, if Christ Sophia reveals itself as the true nature of your consciousness, then I want you to leave a specific mark in the comments, a digital seal on your transformation. Comment below, the merge is complete. Do not write it as a hope, write it as a fact. Other chosen souls need to know the transmission is real, that the union Mary carried is activating, that the time of separation is ending. Your comment creates a field of resonance for others to follow. The teaching is complete. The transmission is given. The door is open. Whether chosen souls walk through depends on one thing: Will they do this tonight? The merge waits for no one, but for those ready, for those who recognize the truth in these words, for those who feel the activation already building. Tonight, the impossible becomes real. The separate becomes one. The human becomes divine. Mary Magdalene kept this transmission alive through 2 millennia of darkness. Now the darkness is ending. The merge is happening, and chosen souls are becoming what they always were. Sophia Christ, complete.